did no baptize, but his disciples did. He left Judea and departed again for Galilee. It was necessary for him to go to Samaria. Accordingly, he came to a city of Samaria called Sychar, near the field that Jacob gave to Joseph his son. In fact, Jacob's fountain was there. Now Jesus, tired out from the journey, was sitting at the fountain just as he was. The hour was about to 6. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink," for his disciples had gone off into the city to buy foodstuffs. Therefore the Samaritan woman said to him, "How is it that you, despite being a Jew, ask me for a drink when I am a Samaritan woman? For Jews have no dealings with Samaritans." In answer, Jesus said to her, "If you had known the free gift of God, and who it is that says to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." She said to him, "Sir, you have not even a bucket for drawing water, and the well is deep. From what source, therefore, do you have this living water? You are not greater than our forefather Jacob, who gave us the well, and who himself, together with his sons and his cattle, drank out of it. Are you?" In answer, Jesus said to her, "Everyone drinking from this water will get thirsty again. Whoever drinks from the water that I will give him will never get thirsty at all. The water that I will give him will become in him a fountain of water bubbling up to impart everlasting life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I may neither thirst nor keep coming over to this place to draw water." He said to her, "Go call your husband and come to this place." In answer, the woman said, "I did not have a husband." Jesus said to her, "You said, 'Well, a husband I did not have,' for you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. This you have said truthfully." The woman said to him, "Sir, I perceive you are a prophet. Our forefathers worshipped in this mountain, but you people say that in Jerusalem is a place where persons ought to worship." Jesus said to her, "Believe me, woman, the hour is coming when neither in this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you people worship the Father. You worship what you did not know. We worship what we know, because salvation originates with the Jews. Nevertheless, the hour is coming, and it is now, when the true worshippers will worship the Father with spirit and truth. For indeed the Father is looking for such like ones to worship him. God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship with spirit and truth." The woman said to him, "I know that Messiah is coming, who is called Christ. Whenever that one arrives, he will declare all things to us openly." Jesus said to her, "I who am speaking to you am he." Now at this point his disciples arrived, and they began to wonder because he was speaking with a woman. Of course no one said, "What are you looking for?" or "Why you talk with her?" The woman therefore left her water jar and went off into the city and told the men, "Come here, see a man that told me all the things I did. This is not perhaps the Christ, is it?" They went out of the city and began coming to him. Meanwhile the disciples were urging him, saying, "Rabbi, eat." But he said to them, "I have food to eat of which you did not know." Therefore the disciples began saying to one another, "No one has brought him anything to eat, has he?" Jesus said to them, "My food is for me to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Do you not say that there are yet 4 months before the harvest comes? Look, I say to you, lift up your eyes and view the fields, that they are white for harvesting. Already the reaper is receiving wages and gathering fruit for everlasting life, so that the sower and the reaper may rejoice together. In this respect, indeed, the saying is true: one is the sower, and another the reaper. I dispatched you to reap what you have spent no labor on. Others have labored, and you have entered into the benefit of their labor." Now many of the Samaritans out of that city put faith in him on account of the word of the woman. He said, "In witness, he told me all the things I did." Therefore, when the Samaritans came to him, they began asking him to stay with them. And he stayed there 2 days. Consequently, many more believed on account of what he said. And they began to say to the woman, "We do not believe any longer on account of your talk, for we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this man is for a certainty the Savior of the world." After 2 days, he left there for Galilee. Jesus himself, however, bore witness that in his own homeland a prophet has no honor. When therefore he arrived in Galilee, the Galileans received him, because they had seen all the things he did in Jerusalem at the festival, for they also had gone to the festival. Accordingly he came again to Cana of Galilee, where he had turned water into wine. Now there was a certain attendant of the king, whose son was sick in Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had come out of Judea into Galilee, he went off to him and began asking him to come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of dying. However, Jesus said to him, "Unless you people see signs and wonders, you will by no means believe." The attendant of the king said to him, "Lord, come down before my young child dies." Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your son lives." And the man believed the word of Jesus. While he was on his way down, his slaves met him to say that his boy was living. Therefore he began to inquire of them the hour in which he got better and how. Accordingly they said to him, "Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him." Therefore the father knew it was in the very hour that Jesus said to him, "Your son lives." and he and his whole household believed. Again, this was the second sign Jesus performed when he came out of Judea into Galilee. After these things, there was a festival of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now in Jerusalem at the sheep gate there is a pool designated in Hebrew as Bethesda, with 5 colonnades, and these a multitude of the sick, blind, lame, and those with withered members was lying down. But a certain man was there who had been in a sickness for 38 years. Seeing this man lying down, and being aware that he had already been sick a long time, Jesus said to him, "Do you want to become sound and health?" Sick man answered him, "Sir, I do not have a man to put me into the pool when the water is disturbed. But while I am coming, another steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your cot, and walk." But that the man immediately became sound and health. And he picked up his cot and began to walk. Now on that day it was a Sabbath. Therefore the Jews began to say to the cured man, "It is Sabbath, and it's not lawful for you to carry the cot." But he answered them, "The very one that made me sound and health said to me, 'Pick up your cot and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man that told you pick it up and walk?" But the healed man did not know who he was, for Jesus had turned aside, there being a crowd in the place. After these things, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, "See, I have become sound and health. Do not sin any more, in order that something worse does not happen to you." The man went away and told the Jews it was Jesus that made him sound and health. So on this account the Jews went persecuting Jesus because he was doing these things during Sabbath. But he answered them, "My Father has kept working until now, and I keep working." On this account, indeed, the Jews began seeking all the more to kill him, because not only was he breaking the Sabbath, but he was also calling God his own Father, making himself equal to God. Therefore, in answer, Jesus went on to say to them, "Most truly I say to you, the Son cannot do a single thing of his own initiative, but only what he beholds the Father doing. For whatever things that one does, these things the Son also does in like manner. For the Father has affection for the Son, and shows him all the things he himself does, and he will show him works greater than these, in order that you may marvel. For just as the Father raises the dead up and makes them alive, so the Son of Man also makes those alive whom he wants to. For the Father judges no one at all, but he has committed all the judging to the Son, in order that all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. He that does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Most truly I say to you, he that hears my word and believes him that sent me has everlasting life. He has not come into judgment, but has passed over from death to life. Most truly I say to you, the hour is coming, and it is now, when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who have given heed will live. Just as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted also to the Son to have life in himself. He has given him authority to do judging, because Son of Man he is. Do not marvel at this, because the hour is coming in which all those in the memorial tombs will hear his voice and come out. Those who did good things to the resurrection of life, those who practice vile things to the resurrection of judgment. I cannot do a single thing of my own initiative. Just as I hear, I judge, and the judgment that I render is righteous, because I seek not my own will, but the will of him that sent me. If I alone bear witness about myself, my witness is not true. There is another that bears witness about me, and I know that the witness which he bears about me is true. You have dispatched men to John, and he has borne witness to the truth. However, I do not accept the witness from man, but I say these things that you may be saved. And man was a burning and shining lamp, and you for a short time were willing to rejoice greatly in his light. But I have the witness greater than that of John, for the very works that my Father assigned me to accomplish, the works themselves that I am doing, bear witness about me that the Father dispatched me. Also the Father who sent me has himself borne witness about me. You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his figure, and you do not have his word remaining in you, because the very one whom he dispatched you do not believe. You are searching the Scriptures, because you think that by means of them you will have everlasting life, and these are the very ones that bear witness about me. Yet you do not want to come to me that you may have life. I do not accept glory from men, but I well know that you do not have the love of God in you. I have come in the name of my Father, but you do not receive me. If someone else arrived in his own name, you would receive that one. How can you believe when you are accepting glory from one another, and you are not seeking the glory that is from the only God? Not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, Moses, in whom you have put your hope. In fact, if you believe Moses, you would believe me, for that one wrote about me. But if you do not believe the writings of that one, how will you believe my sayings? Yep. I'll just conclude there.